Hi there, TFL client. Happy Sunday. So as you know, today it begins. Today, phase 2 begins. So I want to take some time to explain you what phase 2 is. So this way, if you have any questions, we can just go back to this video. If it's more likely, your questions might be answered on this video, okay? So let's break it down. The concept, learning to see food for what it is. That's it. That's the reason of phase 2. And we're gonna break it down in two categories. A, energy supply to facilitate your activities of life. Got it? So carbohydrates are gonna be an energy supply. Okay, wholesome carbohydrates, not processed carbohydrates like potato chips. B, building blocks of your temple to facilitate the obstacles of life. That will be protein. That's all there's to it. The food you eat, it's either gonna be an energy supply or it's gonna be a building block of your temple. In a nutshell, the concept of phase 2 is the eat real food diet. That's all there's to it. You're gonna eat real food for the next 6 weeks. And here's what you need to know about phase 2. Push out on processed foods. For example, do turkey breast instead of mechanically separated turkey parts, aka that foot-long turkey sandwich at Subway. That's all mechanically processed, that's super highly processed, so that's something that we need to cut out, and instead eat wholesome foods. And I know in the past, phase 1, you did use deli meat, you did use turkey slices, but now for this phase, we're gonna try to avoid all the processed meats and just eat more wholesome meats that actually, didn't have to go through a lot of processing to get to your table. Number 2, you are to eat fish at least twice per week. Off a can like tuna does not count, neither does sushi. You got that? So plan ahead in your week. When are you gonna have fish? It has to be twice, we know that. So it could be on a Wednesday and it could be on a Saturday. Number 3, this is not a low carb diet. It is just a no fake foods diet. Understand that? So I'm not telling you to go on a diet. We're just encouraging you to have a no fake foods diet. Okay? Keep that in mind. If it doesn't look pretty close to what it came from the ground, you cannot have it. So that means that if the food you're eating right now off your plate looks highly processed, you can't even tell it grew somewhere, well then more likely it's processed. But if you can tell that your food looks pretty fresh from the ground, then that's more likely what we call wholesome foods, and that's a food that we want you to eat more often. And again, phase 2 is about eating more wholesome foods and cutting out all the unprocessed junk, processed junk. Avoid things like mayonnaise, bread, and sour cream. Processed crap, fake foods. Again, this phase 2 is about encouraging you to avoid those things, because again, that is not gonna give you anything in return. Put things in your body that are gonna give you more in return, not things like sour cream that is just not gonna give you anything in return, and if anything, you will end up paying the consequences. So it's gonna cost you more than is what's gonna give you back. Eat nuts, but cut them out if you're gaining inches. Now, a lot of us lean towards nuts a lot. Cashews, almonds, and all that stuff. But truth is that if you've been cutting it out and it's worked for you, you saw the inches just go down, stay like that, okay? It's very easy to just gain inches too fast, too soon, when you think that I'm just gonna have nuts as a snack or in my meals every time. And that includes peanut butter. So just keep in mind that if when we assess you this week, your inches went up a little bit because maybe perhaps you were having too much nuts. Well, then cut that out, and that's how it's gonna take care of that. If you did cut them out, you lost the inches. I know, for example, Jasmine, you may be watching this right now. You cut out the nuts for the past week. That's what we talked about, and you cut them out and you fit into your jeans. So we talked about you not having nuts for a while until you can until you reach your goal. Okay. The same rule applies for dairy. Okay. Cottage cheese, yogurts, all that stuff. Our bodies respond very differently to dairy. You may have cottage cheese, doesn't affect you at all. If somebody else has cottage cheese, it bloats them up, right? So that's something where you have to be the best judge. Need to tell whether dairy is making your body gain inches, stay the same, or if you're losing inches, guess what? Maybe cutting it out, it's what may benefit you, because that's where you want to be. You want to go down in inches more, so you're gonna have to cut some things out. Limit your social lubricant, aka alcohol, to 1 or 2 times a week. Okay? And I know a lot of you are already doing that, but it's just about you being in control. Because the moment I tell you, hey, can you get off alcohol for a month? If you say no, well, that's a problem, because that is you not being in control. So we want you to be in control so you can make the right choices for yourself. Okay, so that's the thing about alcohol. 3 X's per week still applies. 3 X's per week, that's still gonna apply. Okay, we talked about that many times. Here's what you need to do differently than phase 1. You will have 4 meals plus 1 snack. Okay? 4 meals plus 1 snack. Let's break it down. This is what it will look like in your book. You're gonna see builders, you're gonna see energy providers, and you're gonna see veggies. Okay? And notice, we don't have the snack option anymore. It's just meal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason why we did that is because we want you to eat, as in, you need to know how many meals you've had. You have to get used to saying, hey, I'm on meal 1. Oh, this is my meal 3. Not, oh, I'm having a snack. No, that's child's play. We're done with that. Now it's meal 1 through 5. 5 meals. 4 meals, 1 snack. Okay? Here's an example. For breakfast, meal 1, 4 eggs, that's a builder. Energy provider, Ezekiel tortilla, veggies, spinach. Simple. It's a lot easier to break it down like that. Chicken for meal 2. We're no longer calling it lunch. We're calling it meal 2. Chicken, rice, broccoli. Meal 3, chicken, rice, broccoli. Meal 4, shake, berries, no veggies here because he works out at 8 p.m. Meal 5, salmon, yams, and cucumbers at 9 p.m. That's what this phase is about. It's about breaking food down in each category. And if anything, I think it's gonna be easier for you to fill out your book in this manner. Because you're gonna be like, okay, I had this protein, I had this carb, and I had this veggie, okay? So now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the statement that I said at the beginning of the phase 2. I said that you can eat as much natural, unprocessed protein and fat as you want. And that you may have unlimited amounts of any of the foods from either the above categories. Yes, unlimited. Here's the reason why. Most people don't crave natural foods. There are far fewer reports of binging on chicken and rice than beer and wings. Natural foods are also enormously satisfying and contain more fiber, so they'll fill you up even quicker. Natural foods are also much more difficult to come by because you can get junk food in any drive-thru at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. But if I tell you that, hey, you gotta go make some rice and chicken at 2 a.m., more likely you're gonna have it. So this phase 2 doesn't want you to worry about, oh, but how much can I have? How much of this? How much of that? Not yet. We'll cover that in the next, maybe by week 3. For right now, we just want you guys to eat wholesome foods. That's the purpose of phase 2, to eat real food. Because again, don't forget, the eat real food diet is what phase 2 really is. And that, in a sense, is your lifestyle. Okay? You eat wholesome, real foods 90% of the time, and then if you want to have 3 extras per week, where you get to eat what you like without feeling bad about it, that's the key in seeing long, sustainable results. Okay, guys, well, that's it. If you have any questions, just comment right below. Okay, but don't forget, we want to see you again filling all this out, okay, starting tomorrow. Okay, like I said, it's gonna be way simpler. So until next time, guys, I will see you this week. Don't forget, it's measurements week, so be ready for that.